when it comes to wars, that women and children are specifically targeted?
They are not probably targeted per se, but they are basically the consequences of a mass killing that really put pressure on the society to leave the location. So they yes, exactly, they targeted because they want to really force mass displacement or force mass killing, and the casualties are mainly women and children, because they would be like in shelters where they think that they are in a safe place. But when there is a violence executed by an enemy like Israel, they really don't care about really saving the human lives of children and mother and sisters and wives. This is extremely dangerous and extremely not acceptable to see that Israel has bombarded those people who really don't have anything to do with the war. The combatants who are really at the front lines of the war are the ones who can protect themselves and can hide. Whereas when they bombard innocent shelters, this is when people do not really have a place to go except for the shelters. And that's why we see the huge percentage of these vulnerable and innocent lives being targeted and being killed in these unacceptable wars and these violence that have been executed against Gazans and against many other people like Sudan, and also in some instances against Lebanese people who have been really in hospitals or in shelters, and they had nothing to do with the war.
That's the weakest link. Now we move on again to Mrs. El Nacha. The report also highlights the worsening situation for women in Gaza, where medical facilities overwhelmed and basic supplies very scarce. How do these conditions directly contribute to the increased female mortality rate in conflict zones?
Actually, with the lack of any kind of health care, actually not just the maritally health or the health care for the woman, many women get birth, or more than 60,000 women get birth in Gaza without any medical care, as well as the same number of those women got pregnant without any medical care as well. And many of them, they lose their pregnancy and divorced because of the stress, because of the continuous transfer from one place to another, and all of these things causes diseases and like illnesses for the woman in the future, not just in these days. And the lack of personal hygiene is the most effective and most causes of illnesses for the women in Gaza nowadays, because the women in their period,
and of course due to the lack of health care that does not exist.
It's not exist, but even more than that, when we are talking about personal hygiene in the monthly period for the women, for example, there's no enough bathrooms to go to. And enough time even to clean themselves. There's no clean water to get bath or cleaning themselves. This causes a lot of illnesses for those women and infections for them, and affected the fertility in the future for those women as well. So we are talking about a parallel issue. One about the lack of health care, which is destroyed completely in Gaza, and the other thing, the lack of possibilities to have like a personal hygiene, to get like clean water, to get bath or something like that. We are talking about one bathroom for each 250 women in a shelter. in this war and
Yes,
in
and
some
this is
shelters. And
catastrophic, of course, at this
yes,
point.
of course, they hold themselves for a very long time. They didn't have enough time to go to the bathroom and all of these things. And the lack of water is the second issue as well.